Hey guys, how's it going? It's Demortis again. So I was recently asked, what about incursions? And for an easier reference for anybody that plays with me or around me inside Eve and local chat, um, they come across with the same questions all the time. So I'm going to make this video, and I'll try to make it as quick as possible. And basically, it'll explain exactly what incursions are about, how they play out, and some of the dynamics of it. But first, I thought we'd watch this video because it's CCP and it kind of gives you the storyline version of it, and I will then go through and we can take a look at it.
Nearly 2 centuries ago, an industrial mogul named Sansha built an empire as an arms manufacturer during the First Galente-Kaldari War. Hailed as a cultural messiah, Kuvaki drew millions of colonists to his domain by promising a utopian alternative to contemporary society. However, Sansha was also secretly using his vast resources to fund cybernetic experimentation on humans, turning them into slaves loyal only to him. When the great empires learned of these practices, they joined forces to end his regime. Through their combined efforts, Sansha and his minions were hunted down and driven off. Those few sympathizers who survived settled in the Stain region, far from Empire borders. But years later, groups of Sansha began short, well-organized incursions into secure space. Using advanced technology, they were repeatedly able to sneak past defenses and make surface landings on sovereign worlds, abducting millions. These unfortunate souls were doomed to become part of Sansha's twisted hive mind forever. Sansha Kuvaki has brought his war back to the Empires with a vengeance, directly challenging the resolve of Capsuleers. While none can say with certainty what his agenda might be, he seems determined to re-establish his so-called promised land for good.
Alright, so it's pretty much self-explanatory, and I'm going to do the same method I always do, which is kind of just bounce around in this thing. Okay. It already jumped to the next video. Let's see if I can go back here. So, this dude, that's the storyline of the Sansha, obviously. You never actually get to fight his ship. It's basically a storyline that's still going on to this day. So, where was that map? Right up here. Okay, so there's the map. So basically, this is Stain. It's a place in Eve. It's another NPC, like I've spoken in my previous videos about, that you cannot own by sovereignty, but is surrounded by sovereignty and is considered nullsec, so it's kind of dangerous, right? Now, the only thing that's kind of Stain is it's like high sec. They have missions that start at level 1 to level 4. You go in here, you start running these things, and then based on roamers, the people that are going around looking for kills, you might survive, you might not survive, right? But you have to start at level 1, so you need the low level ships. Well, there's nobody living out here because of the surrounding Sov coalitions. I'm just kind of doing this for a general thing, but there's no way to sustain your life here, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. The other thing is the Sansha are NPC controlled at the level it would be like an empire, so it's relatively easy to survive out here. The only thing is like everywhere else in space that you live, there's the people you're working for, let's say Empire, Amar. Let's do Mimitar, it's easier. So let's say you're Mimitar. You'll work for the Mimitar, but you face the Angel Cartel in all of your missions and out in asteroid belts when you're mining or whatever. Because Stain is owned by Sansha, even what comes out into the asteroid belts to like shoot at you or let's say are protecting the gates are Sansha. So there's no difference. The only thing is when you do the missions, you're facing drones. So it's not bad, but it's like politically you're trying to get up in the ranks of Stain to do better missions. Let's say because it's NPC, right? And you're also out in the belts mining, and that's Sansha. So you're getting a negative standing and a positive standing, and there is no difference, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no one is Minmatar, one is Angel Cartel or Blood Raiders or anything like. No, it's Sansha. So you gotta kind of take that into account. Now, the incursions part of the game, which everybody always asks me about, is like this map. They show up, they take control of the system, they now turn to Sansha on the gates, in the belts, all the anomalies that you would go to, like the combat sites and everything, they're all Sansha. So when they're in Empire, they're actually more aggressive. There's more of them, like per site compared to the space that they control. When they're in these spots, it's pretty hard to live. Like, if you're an industrialist, you probably won't hang out in an incursion system. You'll have to go somewhere else until the incursion is over. It's done based on control. So they control 100% of it, let's say, as soon as they get it, right? Like, as soon as it becomes Sansha incursion. And then based on the amount of kills and things you do in the anomalies, the belts, the everything, your ranking based on everybody doing it, not just you, but everybody as a whole fighting Sansha, you can increase the dominance of the system and gain control. I've had people living in systems that are like, I've never seen an incursion, what's going on? And then that comes to this other part of the storyline where they're looking for new souls to, you know, bring up their army and stuff like that. In the ship tree, it's the Sansha. They've got 3 different classes of ships. Yeah, I don't know. That guy, whatever. It's a part of the storyline, and that's basically that. But what my point is for the video was to at least kind of show what they're doing, right? So if you're in the NPC sovereignty, that's Sansha territory, you can live there, you can work there, you can be a part of that. But your, let's say, idle mining or anomalies will give you a negative standing towards them to the point where they just always attack you. So you have to also work at your, like, working for Sansha, doing the leveled missions to bring that up again. If you do get it up to that point where you're doing like level 4s, you're doing pretty good, because now Sansha is not targeting you at all, and they're the controlling factor there, right? So just something to think about. Sansha, yeah.